What's up, B1 High School? Welcome to week 8 of the gatherings. So what's going on, Pastor Kim? How are you doing?
Hi.
I never call you Pastor Kim. That's weird. Like, we're friends.
Yeah, there's sometimes when I'll refer to you as like Pastor Zach, I'll be like, oh yeah, Pastor Zach. But like whenever I see you, I'm like, not Zach.
Yeah, it's always gonna be Kim. Even when you're famous, preaching to thousands of people, it's gonna be Kim.
You're like, yeah, that's Kim White.
It's my sister
Or
over there.
Kim, whatever.
I feel it. Well, how's junior high and stuff going? You feeling good?
Yeah. It's pretty crazy, you know. It's junior high, so
I feel it.
they smell and they're awesome.
It's great though.
You got extra deodorant in room 12.
Yes. Always.
A7. Sorry.
Oh yeah, A7.
Change it up on everyone. So.
Yeah.
Well, cool. So today we're gonna be talking a little bit about why we get so nervous or so skeptical when God showed up in our life before, right? And then we get so scared that He can't do it again. It's crazy. We see all through Scripture how that happens, and the disciples and people time and time again they see Jesus do something in their lives, and then for whatever reason, when in the same circumstances or situations, maybe even a little bit different, but something that God has handled, Jesus has handled before, comes up again, we get all crazy as if He's not going to pull through and be the Jesus and the God that we know Him to be. What do you think about that? Why do we do that?
Why do we
get so nervous or scared when we know God can pull through and He's done it before? Like, we've seen Him do it. And we're all worried that He won't.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like us, like as humans, like we have trust issues, and I feel like that's where it really stems from, is just the lack of trust that we have in other people. And then we're constantly trying to compare people to like other people and past relationships in a way that we grew up with. And I think a lot of times we take the comparisons of people and we place that on God, and we start comparing God with other people, and we're like, well, you know what, like I don't know if I can trust God, like my dad didn't come through, or maybe like my mom didn't come through this one time, or maybe it was a boyfriend or like a girlfriend that didn't come through. And so I feel like just in life we have a lack of trust just with people, and I think it's hard sometimes to have to understand and to comprehend just how faithful God is, and like He's completely faithful. He'll always come through. Like He will never fail us. And I think time and time again, it's just hard for us to learn that and just really come to terms that He's not going to fail me. Like I just need to calm down and like not be so anxious, not be so worried about these things. Yeah.
It's crazy. He is human like we are 100%, but then He's 100% Jesus. He's 100% God. And I don't think it's hard for our little pupils to put that together and kind of comprehend the fact that He's Jesus. He's 100% just like us, but then at the same time He has power that we have never been able to tap into and never will be able to tap into. We can certainly use the power, but we can never to that level. We can never come through like Jesus can come through. And so, yeah, I feel that. That's crazy. Has there ever been a time in your life maybe where God pulled through in maybe a similar situation, or He's done something incredible, and then maybe right after that or just down the line a little bit, something else happens and you got scared, or you were skeptical, or were unsure as if God was going to pull through again, even though you saw Him do it before? You ever have situations like that in life that come up?
Yeah, for sure. There's. I remember when I first decided to go to SAGU. I remember God had really tried to get me to go, but I kept saying like no to Him, just because I had a plan and I wanted to follow through on my plan. And then God finally broke me, and He was like no, like you need to go to SAGU. And so I was fed up with it, and I was like, all right, God, if it is meant for me to go to SAGU and to be a part of the school and somehow go into ministry, then I remember it was a Saturday night that I prayed this, and I was like, all right, God, if this is meant to be, you have to have somebody that I've never talked to about this come up to me in the lobby tomorrow morning at church and tell me that I'm going to SAGU. And I remember I went to church the next morning, and by that time, like I'd forgotten about the prayer, and I walk into the lobby, and Stacy Gabajon, you guys probably know her, she's amazing, but she walks just straight towards me. I see her coming like right towards me in the lobby, and like I kind of knew her at the time, but like just enough for her to like come talk to me and say hi, and like I figured that was all it was gonna be. And so she comes up to me and she says, hey, she's like, you're going to SAGU? And I said, no, like I'm not, like I'm going to COS. And I start to tell her like my story, and she cuts me off. She says, no, you're going to SAGU. And I just remember in that moment, I was like, oh my gosh, like I just asked God, like this is what I asked for, and like it was the answer that He gave me. And so just being sure in God in that moment, and knowing that, okay, like God's in this, He wants me to do this, and then taking that step of like, okay, now I'm gonna go through with this. But after I did, like there was just so much peace in it, and I knew I was in the right place. And then it was deciding, okay, well now that I'm going into ministry, well what does that look like? What do I want to do? And I remember like in that moment, like I trusted God. But then I remember as I was navigating ministry and what I wanted to be, I felt like maybe I should be a pastor. And I remember I just doubted so much. And I think it was mostly me doubting myself, and that not necessarily doubting God, but just doubting myself. And I was like, no, I can't be a pastor. And I made up all these excuses of why I couldn't be, until finally God showed me that I could, just like obviously with His help and everything, and He brought me through. Yeah, and He brought me in, like, look, I'm a pastor now today. So like clearly, like I mean, it was all part of His plan. But I think the reason why it took so long, stupid fly, the reason why it but the reason why I remember the process of me taking over junior high ministry and then becoming a pastor, there was like a year in between that whole time. And I remember it was really frustrating, and a lot of it, I did doubt God a lot, just because it wasn't happening as fast as I wanted it to, or as fast as I thought it should. But once it did happen, once God finally like made the stars align and all of that, it definitely, like looking back, I was like, wow, like God's timing is just beautiful. And like, and I think sometimes we start to doubt God just because we think it should be in this timing or in this way, when in reality God's like, no, like I have a better plan for that. Yeah, I have a better plan. I have a better timing. Like you're not ready yet, or maybe like there's some things that just need to be worked out, or just maybe there's a better way than what you're thinking. And so I feel like that just goes back into it. But yeah, I guess that would be, I don't know if that answered the question, but yeah.
Good. So it's, you know, when God calls you to something, or when he's taking you a certain length of the course that you think you're on, He's gonna take you the rest. Like He's gonna pull through. He's God. He doesn't change. He's constant. He's not like humans. He's not like maybe a family member or a friend that you know. When God does something, He's gonna make it and see it through. He provides for His people. When He does it once, not only does He do it once, He's gonna do it again. And God always provides. When He takes you to a place, He always makes it happen for His people. So, well, cool. I like it. Thanks, homie.
No problem.